Hello everyone, this is Ryan Pine, and today I'm going to show you a little bit about how to deal with text in CSS. And I'll just open up my handout really quickly. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over what CSS is because I know you read about it in the text, but CSS is a cascading style sheet. It's a language that's used for setting up a document written in one of the markup languages, XML, HTML, XHTML. It defines the look of the layout, and it covers all types of things such as the font, the color, the margins, the height of the text, the width in between letters, and it can also deal with images amongst many, many other things. What is the difference between HTML and CSS? Well, HTML is the language used to structure the content in a document, whereas CSS is the language used to format that structured content. So basically, it means that you can deal with many documents at once and basically get them to do what you want them to do in terms of how they appear on either the printed document or on the web. It can save considerable time due to its ability to control several documents at once. And depending upon the media, you can use different layouts. So that's just a little primer on what CSS is. So now we're going to do a little exercise together, and then I'd like you to try one on your own. So for this, obviously, you need Dreamweaver installed on the machine. So if we go up here, click on this, and open Dreamweaver, it will take us to this welcome screen. Don't need that right now. If you go to the Help drop-down menu and then select Learn Dreamweaver, take you to this page, scroll down, and under Essentials for Beginners, it has one called Style Web Page Text with CSS. That's the one that we're going to work on today. And you're going to need a zip file to download that. So if you click on Get Files, it'll download some CSS style sheet files. So if you right click or control click, whatever you want to do, on this file called style-text.html and open with Dreamweaver, it's going to open this up. And I got to this view. If yours doesn't look like this, what you can do is go up here and view and click split vertically. This is what it looks like the other way. So you want to split vertically, and then you want to try to have the code on the left. You'll see why in a minute. But you want to click on styles.css and then scroll down to where it says Start Here. Okay, and then we're going to work with H1 and H2 and a little bit of P. So that's header 1, header 2, and obviously P for paragraph. And here is the appearance that we're going to be working with today. So if we just go back to Safari or whatever you're using for a web browser and take a look at the instructions. So it's going to tell us to start here. And the first step it's going to ask us to do is to change the text size. So after the margin command, you're going to hit enter and then go to start typing in font size, and then we want 48px and semicolon to close it. So font size, colon, 48px, semicolon. So go back to Dreamweaver, and here we have the margin. So you want to hit enter, and font size, colon, 48px, semicolon. And then that will change the font size of header 1. Go back to Safari to take a look at the steps. And then step 2 is going to say change the typeface. So we can add a font family. This font family that it wants us to add is Gotham, Tahoma, Sans Serif. So we go to back to our Dreamweaver. Again, hit enter. Start typing in font family. We want Gotham, Tahoma, Sans Serif, semicolon. And that should change that. Then go back to Safari. You have to kind of bear with me. This is far from the sexiest thing we'll do this year, I'm sure, but it is somewhat useful. So just try to stick with me for a few minutes. Change the text alignment. So after font family, hit enter, and then text dash align colon center, and that will center the text for us. Hit that. Okay, text. Oops. Text align, and then center semicolon, and that'll align the text for us. Go back to Safari. And we can do the same thing for our H2. So, and you can kind of mess around with this. You can see after this, text align, do left if you want, and that'll put it to the left, or do center in this case. It's what it's telling us to do, and that'll put that back in the center. Scroll down to step 4, and it can change the text color. Now this is probably the trickiest of the steps. So you're going to want to pay most attention to this. If you go into start typing color underneath, this can ask us to change the color of header 1. If you start typing in color in Dreamweaver, it's going to give you this option here. So let's start typing in color, colon, and then it's going to, we can double click here, it's going to pull up this menu, and it has this little eyedropper. If you click on that, it's going to give you this little eyedropper tool, and what you can do is you can change the text to any color that's in an image. So we can make it that purple, that yellow if we want, white, or in this case, the directions is asking us to make it this orange-red color. So click on the eyedropper, and then hit enter, and it should turn that, there it goes, it turns the Saturn to that orange-red color. And if you want to manually type it in, it's ED7952, but obviously we didn't know that going into it. And then we go down to our next step. Step 5 is to italicize the text for header 2. So we're going to find H2 again in Dreamweaver. After text align, we're going to go font dash style colon italic, and then semicolon again to close that up. So it's font style colon italic semicolon. You can see there it did change our header 2 to italics. Then we can change the font weight. So basically the weight is how heavy the text appears. You can have it very light, which would be 100, being very lightweight, or 900. In this case, they want us to do 300 for the header. So for the header 2. So let's go back, go under header 2, and we're going to do font weight. And you can see the menu pulls up, and we can double click, make it 300, semicolon, and that's going to give us a weight that's somewhat light. You can see there, it's kind of light, so if we mess around with it, you can see putting it to 900 would give it a heavier weight, but they want 300, so let's put that back. Go back to the remaining steps. I'm sure I'm boring you all to death right now, but that's I think that's just the nature of the beast. We're going to go and transform the text. So after the color, we can put text dash transform uppercase, and that's going to change everything to uppercase. So we have text transform, and then we're going to put uppercase. And it didn't work. So one of the cool things about Dreamweaver is that if you've done something wrong, it's going to tell you. It's going to show up red there, and then you can click here. It's going to tell us what we did wrong. And that's saying expected R brace at line 40. So we've done something wrong here. So let's go back and take a look at our steps again. Text transform, uppercase, semicolon. And it looks like I have no idea what I'm doing. That's what it looks like, unfortunately. Let's try this again and go back here. Text, transform, and then uppercase, colon. And it's still not working, so I'm totally stumped. Let's see. Text transform. Okay. Oh, and here, I got it. This is a teachable moment for us. I didn't put the semicolon here. So now it should transform our text the way we want it to. Sorry about that. As you can see, I'm obviously a novice with this technology. And then we can change the line spacing. So this is asking us to do 0.08 to change the letter spacing, I should say, the spacing in between the letters. You can see here. not spaced differently. So we start typing in litter, spacing, colon, and then 0.08 em, and then that'll change the spacing in between the letters. So, and then it just tells you you can mess around with the line height. If we go to the paragraph for the line height, you can mess around with that in terms of its readability, the vertical space between lines of text, and you can delete that line height property, and then you can undo it by doing Command Z or Control Z if you're on a Windows machine. So let's just try that for a second. Go down here, and we have the P right here, so we can get rid of this. See what that does? It makes it less readable, right? So now you can see it's kind of scrunched together, but if we do Command Z, puts it back to where it was. So, and then what you want to do is you want to preview this. We can check out, if we click on this little globe here, it's going to preview it. And you can do it in Chrome, you can do it in Safari, or probably if you're on a Windows machine, you can do it in Internet Explorer. So we're going to click on preview, and it's going to ask us, do we want to save this? Yes, and then it's going to show us the finished product. And that's exactly how it should look on there. So we can see we've done it right. Okay, so now what I'd like you to do is go to this handout, and I guess we can kind of freeze the video and take a look at the instructions here and try to end up with this, a new, slightly new product to kind of practice things. So open up Dreamweaver, go to the help, do the same thing, Essentials for Beginners, use that demonstration, and now go into Dreamweaver and change that file to the new styles here. You can make it the header 180, header 240, and then mess around with the font, mess around with the alignment, mess around with the color and style and weight and all that kind of good stuff. And then this is the finished product. If you've done everything correctly, this is what it should look like. All right, thanks so much. Hopefully some of you are still awake, but that's just the luck of the draw, I guess. But hopefully you learned a little bit about CSS and how it operates inside of Dream.